Hi, everyone, and welcome to Module 4. After this, we're halfway. I'm sure you know that. Let's go through what you need to do this week. Here is your to-do list, but I'll kind of go through this way. For reading, this is your Teaching Language and Context book, Chapter 6. And then this Highland piece we are going to discuss in class next week. So as you're reading, take some notes. Mark some things that you think are interesting or you have questions about. We'll also look at this as well. Okay, continuing on with the investigation packet, you're finishing section 3. And the key is already up there because it was up for the first part last week. You have a quiz this week, which is right here. And then in the previous module, there were some instructions on how to review that. Okay, the other thing, the new big kind of group thing that you're going to be working on this week is what I'm calling SFL inspired language focused lesson plan design projects. No, an acronym to go with that, or acronym to go with that. Okay, so basically what I've kind of learned over the years and kind of working with in-service teachers is that in terms of one of the kind of the benefits of doing lesson plans or lesson designs is to do theory to practice. So what are we learning and how's it going to go into practice? But it is not necessary for everyone to do all aspects of planning a lesson. So basically what we've got here is a series. You're going to role play this lesson design. And so I have you in groups, as you can see here, and I have created Google Docs. This is also new. Previously, I've done this with wikis, but I've gotten a lot of feedback about how kind of awkward wikis are to do when you're working as a group. So in case I forget, these two are some samples of what this could look like. The groups that I've put you in here are kind of focused on what you teach and what your interests are to the best that I could. And I wanted to do it's groups of 3 or 4. So in case you're wondering how those got started. So let's take a look at one of these. And then it's a little clunky, doesn't go right there. So you have to kind of re-click. And I did the share, I did the shareable link, so you should have access. So I put you in, I've given you your roles, and let's look at the different roles. And they're all kind of here. So lesson designer is basically the person that is going to design the lesson. The designer gets to choose what language focus and what grade. And so let's actually, with an SFL frame focus. So let's see below and see where that is. Okay, so choose something from a language investigation packet, like either section 2 or 3. So here's an example. You could do something with tenor. You could do something, you just did a whole bunch of work with nominalization. You could do something with that. And the idea is it's just kind of a one lesson. It could be integrated in a larger group of lessons, but really we're just kind of looking for one kind of 45-minute lesson. Some groups have the groups with 4 will have 2 designers, and then you'll do kind of 2 days worth of lessons. Okay, so Amanda here would design the lesson and post it, and then Katie would come in and design some assessment that goes with that lesson. And then this is what is a really interesting role here. So then Katie M, what she's going to do is she's going to basically communicate about the lesson to either, and depending on kind of what your kind of role in your building is, to either like pretend you're talking to the ESL coordinator or a special ed director or a reading specialist, and you're going to use your terminology that you've been reading and learning to articulate, kind of why the lesson is important, what it's focusing on, how it relates to SFL. And so that's that role here. So then there's a template here for you, and this is a table, so it should just open up for you to put those things in there. When you look at the examples, these will become more clear, particularly this one, as to kind of how to write about that. And again, I want you to be technical, use terminology, talk about what's important and explain it to this other person. And imagine they know a little bit about SFL. Um, okay, and then we'll be doing weeks sort of 5 through 8. We'll be doing other role plays, and I've made a note of kind of who is where, and so I will kind of move you around so you get to experience different ones of these roles. But this is where we're starting. Okay, so let's go back. It's a little clunky to kind of get back here. Okay, so those are all that here. And then in terms of, and again, those are the samples there. In terms of timing, so you can communicate within your group if you need any variations on this. I'm going to leave that up to you. But on Saturday by noon, the lesson designer needs to be finished. Then Sunday night, the assessment person needs to be finished. And then by Monday night, the liaison role needs to be completed. So make sure that you get things done. Otherwise, you'll let your whole group down with that. And again, let me know if there's any problems accessing the links. Okay, so then this is what you started last week, and some of you already put some things up, really exciting things, and I look forward to seeing the rest. And don't forget also to do the appreciation Padlet. And again, you can click back to last week to see what we were doing with that. And then you have a quiz this week, and the quiz is on the LIP book so far. So you just need to, in order to prepare for that, you just need to be up to date with that. And that is everything. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be seeing you next week.